I just want to take a moment and talk about communicating with people and how hard it is. It's almost like pulling teeth out of a shark to be able to communicate. The ability to speak to someone and be able to have a conversation is becoming almost impossible. Most people can't carry on a conversation because either their attention span is not there or they spend more time trying to talk over you than to talk to you. Let me explain. Let's just say person A and person B are having a conversation. Person A knows how to communicate. They speak, they wait, they let the other person speak, so forth, so on. The other person, person B, doesn't know how to communicate. They cut the other person off in a loud way, making sure that they can't get nothing out, edgewise, shutting them off. Now, I know some of you might be thinking lowbrow. That's a certain demographic of people. You don't have much intelligence and you have a smooth brain, so this doesn't apply to you. But for those of us that actually have cognitive function and capability, this becomes difficult. Trying to do something as simple as, hey, how you doing or whatnot, turns into acrobatics with juggling hand grenades and doing backflips through motion sensor explosives. You got to watch what you say, how you say. You got to speak fast. You got to make sure that the conversation stays in the favor of the other so they don't jump the gun and cut you off. Some people say that's a sign of ignorance. I think that that's a sign of a person who either is too antsy and want to speak because nobody's listening to them, which is sad, or the other is that they don't know how to communicate properly because nobody's ever showed them. Now, you might think, well, Mel, what about you? Don't you cut people off? I mean, if we're talking about the same thing, you get excited. It happens to everybody. We're all human. But when you purposely do that because you don't know any better, because I got to get it off my head or I got to do this, sometimes you don't realize how hard that is for the other people or person in the conversation. You doing that may disengage them, like myself. I don't like people who cut me off mid-sentence. I don't like people who interject me and cut me completely off when it's my turn to talk. I usually disengage with those people, and I stop communicating. I go silent, and I just stare at them blankly, like they don't even exist anymore. I stare at them in a way like, you disgust me. Usually they get it, or sometimes they ask, well, what's the problem? And I just shrug it off. But now I do something different. And I might challenge you guys to do the same. It may be something that might be beneficial. I don't allow people to hijack me in a conversation because I allow the conversation to solely stick on them. What do you mean by that, Mel? Well, let's just say, hey, how are you doing, Mel? I'm doing fine. How are you? Oh, I'm doing all right, blah, blah, blah. What's new with you? Immediately I go back to, don't worry about me. I'm not doing anything. Tell me all about you. And I keep the conversation on them until it wears them out. Now, that might seem weird to some of you. It may seem like excessive. Well, for you, you may be the culprit that causes that kind of grief. So you wouldn't even understand, even if you had the opportunity to. Some of us may see that as being, man, that's a little extreme, but sometimes you have to do that. My question is to all of you is, how much is your mental fortitude? How much is your mental stability worth? Is it worth enough to just cut a conversation off, or are you willing to sacrifice that for the understanding of what's going on? All I'm saying is that it's hard to talk to people. That's why nobody talks to anyone. But I also think that because it's hard to talk to people, that's why we use devices like phones, texting, things like that. Speaking without actual context. You can say, oh, that's cool, but not really understand, are you happy about it or not? We're used to having that vagueness in our conversations. And I think that that's what happens to us in real life, is that we're used to convenience of being vague through machines. But when it comes to us talking to each other, we don't know how to. It's almost as though society is going backwards in terms of communication. But yet again, what do I know?
Hello. Welcome. My name is Mad Mel, and if you enjoy the content I created, please come back on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central Time. We always have a mad time here.
Embrace the madness.